Good evening. I'm a bit later than I was last week. I said I would try and do a stream on Friday. We've been out for some food, me and the family, and I've been back a couple of hours, but I just starting now. So I'm going to do something similar to what I did last week, which seemed to go down quite well. I quite enjoyed doing it. We're going to do a little bit of Grand Championship. I've got my last round of the 1v1, similar to last week actually. I've got 3 rounds of the Grand Championship to come up, so I've got a little bit of time before that starts. So I'm just going to see if I can get the final. I tried to play this a bit earlier, but I had no opponents showing up. There wasn't many people playing, I don't think. See if we get anyone just now. I can see there's actually nobody watching at the moment. 0 watching. So I'm talking to myself, but if you're watching the stream back later, oh, there you go, there's 2 watching. Hello. Say hello in the chat. So yeah, I'm just doing the 1v1 and then I'm going to have a go at the Grand Championship again. Thanks everyone who watched last week, and thanks everyone for subscribing again. I'm up to like 1,030 something, I think, 35 or something like that. Let's have a look while we wait. Oh, here we go. Iceman Crow in the final. See what we get. I had Sands in the semi-final. Actually, I had a guy. What was his name? I'll check afterwards because it'll show you. And he did the same face from last week. So I was wondering if it was just a coincidence. He might have been angry and shaking his fist with fire coming out of his knuckles, or perhaps I was kind of hoping he'd been watching last week. If he was, and if you're that person, I'll tell you who it was shortly, then I'll be very pleased to hear about it. Right, sorry, concentrate on what I'm doing. So I'm going to play a low shot. This is a bit of a guess. Get the right distance. I should probably know, but the thing is, your stats are still kind of limited a little bit, so I don't really know exactly what I've got to hit what distance, so I'm just kind of guessing, and that's a little bit short, I think. Almost perfect. Would have been lovely. Another couple of yards and we've got to use a guide, and it looks as though Iceman Crow has, so I think he's going to take the lead here, unless I do something special with a chip. Let's see what I can do. Boom, boom, boom. That way a little bit. I need to select chip shot again. I've been out with the family. I've had a couple of beers. I've had a few more beers since I came home, so forgive me if I take ages to, yeah, not a good shot, take ages to line my shots up and take ages to hit the line, as I had a problem doing last week. I expect Iceman Crow's going to tuck this one away with his guide. Let's see. I've actually got another ticket if I lose this. I've not been beaten yet, so I'll probably play the Grand Championship, which is this week. Today it's at Sawgrass out, I think, from the 3rd tee. Well done, give him a clap. With 311 yards driving distance. I think I had a quick check, and I'm pretty sure that there's only the 6th hole at Sawgrass that it's possible to actually eagle, even with the big balls and tees. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But anyway, let's focus on the job in hand, the task in hand for the time being. Bit of a guesswork with this wind. I think that'll be okay. It'll be a little bit close for pitching it. I see a lot of people actually. I need to investigate this. See the guy is over there on the right. Let's try and see where he is, because I do notice that quite a lot. Yeah, I think possibly playing from the rough there seems to be the sensible thing to do. I need to investigate that, rather than just continually do what I seem to do, which is give myself a tricky pitch in. I want to be about 170, 180 yards. I'm a little bit short. That 6 wind, I don't really know what it's going to do, because the pitch is going to fly quite low, and it's about 86%. and he's put it dead. I think I'm in a bit of trouble here. Let's see what happens. I don't think that's going to get any wind really. Oh, we got too much. There you go. All over the place. So that should put Iceman Crow 2 up after 2 holes. This will be a monumental effort to pull this one back, and I've got a feeling I'm not going to do it. Again, a little bit worse for wear. Let's see if I can at least put my chip close. No chance. Yeah, I think this might be a glorious loss to start the evening, but you can't fault Iceman. So far he's been living up to his name. Ice cold. He must be cold in them shorts. That's definitely worth a clap. Got 9 watching again. There's David and Nicola. Hello Nicola. Hello David. David's played Iceman a few times. Yeah, I'm not sure I've played him before, but definitely can't fault him so far. Very, very good. Right, so I guess I'm going to continue juicing. I'm just going to hit that full actually. Continue, yeah, using the juice. Oh, it's going to hold. No. If I'd hit that where I lined it up, that would have been okay. But look at Iceman again. Hey, this guy's on fire. On fire. If you know him, congratulate him. I think this is definitely a losing battle, but it's what, 6 minutes to 9. So it should at least eat up the time until the first go at the Grand Championship. It's very steeply uphill, this one, so I'm conscious it's very easy to leave it short, but it's very easy to hit it too hard. Oh, that's good. So that would potentially put me at 1 point. Thank you for the clap, Iceman. If I was to pull it back, but we've got, I guess if I had a special shot on the 4th, potentially, yeah, I think losing battle, to be honest. Need a lot of luck and some mistakes from this guy who, again, like the guy off Top Gun, cold as ice. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a punt here. This will probably go badly wrong, but I've got to try and do something to even things up. So I'm going to aim. Let's have a think about this. I'm going to underhit this, so it shouldn't be as affected by the wind. And I'm going to just pretty much guess at about 84, well 83%, I think, looking at that. This could quite easily come very short, quite easily hit the concrete, and I think it's gonna just make it through. That's so this could pull one back actually. That's a good lot of luck involved in that. A little bit of an educated guess, you might say, because I've played that sort of shot before, but oh, he's never put that in. I thought he was going to put that in there. I should have given him a clap, but I was too late. Sorry, Iceman. If you watch my emojis video, perhaps Iceman is now steaming because I haven't clapped his shot. I would have clapped it if I was paying attention. Sorry. Might have underhit that a bit. I think that should be okay. Oh, you're kidding. That was my chance. So chance definitely over now, because that'll hammer my points as well. Underhit a little bit to try to stop the rollover, but it's not really necessary, and messed up my line. So that's most definitely 2 down with 2 to play. I can't see this guy making any mistakes, so very much deserved a win in the final and the trophy. What do we know? 3 minutes to 9. It's going to time it quite nicely to have a first go at the Grand Championship though. Yeah, through the window, nice, as Peter says on the chat, or David says. I was very pleased with that shot, and then followed it up with a terrible one. Never mind. Right, we might get to see my magical new flop in action here. Let's see. Because ordinarily I think we'll be a little bit short for the flop here. Possibly not actually where the pin is. I desperately try and use it. I can flop now, I've said a few times last week, between kind of 93 and 110 yards. And I think, oh, that's going to give us a big advantage, but it very rarely comes up. Always dead pleased when it does, but unfortunately not on this occasion. Never mind. I'm not going to bother juicing anymore. This one's all over, I think. So yeah, I think Sawgrass, you're probably looking at 12, 13 under. Haven't looked at the scores yet. I did pretty poorly. I should have quite comfortably got 14 under, which loads of people did at Interlaken out. It's had a couple of rounds where, in fact, I was videoing the first round and I kind of just recording. I wasn't live streaming it, and I hit the pin on the first and went flying miles off the green. I'll dig that video out at some point. It annoys me sometimes when you hit the pin. It's, you know, it's pretty much, you know, well, you were bang on line. I was a bit hard, obviously, because I hit the pin. Didn't hit it that hard, but miles off the green. Yeah, we've got some good smileys on the go. 10 watching. Not quite the peaks of, I think last week I saw up to kind of 20. Oh, clap, clap, clap. There we go, just in time. Yeah, 20, 25 at one point, but we've had a steady kind of 10 to 13 on the go, which was quite impressive. But I'm still not monetized. I've applied to YouTube. You have to wait. I think there's a delay of, like I said, the end of April. They want to have all the applications processed by, which is a bit annoying. But I'm going to be back anyway. I'll be back with money going into the bank account. So what is it now? 1 minute to 10. So I'm going to. Oh, David was saying low shot through the window. Low shot on that hole I don't like because it's very difficult to control. I much prefer the shot I played, which is an underpowered wood. Just seems much easier to stop it. And yeah, evidence was that's exactly what I did. A lot of luck involved, but then followed up with a terrible putt. Anyway, right, where are we? I've participated in the final. I've got another ticket. We'll do that later. But for now, I'm going to equip. I don't even know if the big tees and balls are necessary, to be honest. I think just the 6th is going to be drivable. I think it'll probably make a difference on the 6th. But I don't think, from previous experience, we've played this course in the Grand Championship a few times in the past few weeks. Don't think it'll really make that much difference. But as you can see, I'm down to the bare bones with those balls. But I've got a load of these Victory Wish balls, which I've not really used yet. And they increase the backspin a little bit as well, which might be useful. Who knows? So let's equip them and dive straight into the Grand Championship. Okay. Or shall we? Yeah, well, maybe on the next one we'll try and time it again and see if we can get that group going on. But I probably should have been a bit more proactive and said earlier what time. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting here in silence for 5 minutes while we wait for you to catch up. David said, "Great shot through the window. Low would go at the other side of the ball." Yeah, you can if you catch the rough at the front. You can stop it, but you're going right to the back of the green, which is a tricky putt back down the hill. I left myself a much better putt, but again, unfortunately, missed it. Wouldn't have happened. I noticed actually quite clearly. I get up in the morning, and if I play early on, which I don't often do, I'm way better. I hit the lines all the time. I never make mistakes, and then as the day goes on, it just seems to get a little bit worse and a little bit worse. But yeah, so we've got a couple of American guys here. I was looking at my stats on YouTube. It's quite clearly by a mile, people who watch these videos are almost exclusively in America. Well, I say that, I think it's something like 60-70%. There's a load of guys in the UK, but mostly America. I've got people watching from all over the place. It's really quite interesting to read up. Anyway, I'm playing a fade here because it's very difficult to stop a normal shot. You have to kind of hit that small bit of fairway, whereas with a fade shot it does give us a bit of flexibility to kind of roll it up from the front. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I want to hit this about 98%. I'm going to try and hit it on the line. Again, try being the operative word. A little bit harder than that maybe. That'll do. I think this might be a bit hard actually. I don't think the bunker will be a problem. Famous last words. No, it's fine. But yeah, it's a little bit too, well, not too much too hard, but what you're really looking for is putting it bang on close to the hole with this Grand Championship. There's not usually many problems, you know, making the standard shots, but what gets you to the top is the chip-ins, the hole-in-ones. I think I've got one hole-in-one when I've been recording or streaming, which was quite recently. Someone clap me, thank you. User 0550 blah blah blah. But yeah, hole-in-ones, chip-ins are what gets you to the top of the leaderboard with this Grand Championship. Right, what are we doing here? See if I can get close with it. 24, yeah, I think I'll be a bit short with that. I'm going to play a high shot here. I don't like, without having spent a bit of time practicing, I really don't like playing backspin, which is probably the sensible shot to play here. Instead, I'm going to play a high shot. I just think it's more likely I'm going to put it close. So I think I might have juiced on the first hole, but yeah, no need to use the juice. So I'll try and save that for potential chip-ins or hole-in-one chances. This isn't really much of a chance of a hole-in-one, so quite happy to play this without giving it anything extra. Sky shot on first. Good point, David. Sky shot, I've never really, unless it's a specific hole that I've practiced it on, I don't trust it at all. Because it seems to be so inconsistent. It is. I don't think it is that inconsistent, to be honest. I think it just requires me to spend a bit of time with it, but I have never really done that. In fact, I did start making a video on the sky shot, and it took us ages. I made like a spreadsheet, and I was sitting kind of recording the pitch point of the ball with a sky shot, and it just seemed to be so like between 100 and 90% for pretty much every club. It didn't change much at all. Well, 92% maybe. And then when you went to like 91, 90, it would be all over the place. And I think that's kind of exacerbating. Well, what's the word? It affects it more the more stats you've got. So I think with lower stats, in fact, I've played with my lower stat player, and the sky shot really is a lot more useful, I think. But I mean, it's just as useful with high stats. But you have to really have practiced it on a specific hole to know exactly what it's going to do, I think. I use it on Sawgrass in. I'll use it on the last Albi hole where you always used to fade. I'll tend to use the sky shot there now. Equally on the fourth, I think, on the same course, Sawgrass in. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm lacking is sky shot skills. But yeah. Right, what are we doing here? What I don't want to do, and what I'm probably going to do, is just to catch the fringe there. But equally, if I don't, it's going to roll quite a long way past. So let's see how we get on with that. It's probably about the best I could hope for, but the way I put it, it's Aztec just before. I would suggest this could be challenging. Let's see how we get on with it. Okay, just underhit this a touch is the plan, but I've underhit it too much. That could easily miss. Just about. Yeah, David, 2,800 stats. Yeah, I think the sky shot seems to behave quite similar to the high shot, quite predictably from what I've noticed. But yeah, you'll find once you get this kind of 3,500 plus, it really, I think because it's going so much higher, good put user, it's just affected more by the wind, and there's the whole trajectory issue that we've talked about in the other videos going on. So yeah, it's definitely, it'll do the same thing every time in given circumstances, but that won't necessarily be what you'd expect. Put it that way. Alright, can I get there with a pitch? I can. Can I get there with, yeah, the problem I've got with this combination is a massive gap now between pitch and wedge and approach wedge. So rather than play the pitch, I think I'm going to play a power shot with my approach wedge. 64, 74, 84. I think that'll probably be about right, to be honest. It might be touch short. Just going slightly to the left because the contours of the green will bring it over a little bit. Probably not that much, but let's see what happens. I don't think this will be long. Oh, look at that, way long. 7 yards long. Again, into the memory banks for rounds 2 and 3 when I have another go at it. Should be fairly regulation, this one. Overhit it a touch. I've seen those missed. I'm a little bit off across the board tonight, to be honest. Yeah, I think the key holes tonight are going to be this one with regards to chipping in. This is definitely an opportunity to chip in. There isn't a lot of kind of left or right break. You'd much prefer a pin a little bit closer maybe, because it's quite hard to judge with the inclination of the green back to front. It's very steep, so it's quite hard. You don't get much roll. So, you know, it's whilst I'd say it's an opportunity, it's a very speculative one. Let's see if I can pitch it or what we can do with this. I'm not going to be playing the pitch, so again I'm going to go with this power shot, which, yeah, the reason I play this shot is you get the loft. There's no problem with when it's dropping down dead. You've got to kind of, I think, you've got more opportunity to predict a bit more clearly where the ball's going to go. But when the ball's in the air so much, obviously the wind's going to affect it more, and you know there's various reasons why it might be more tricky. I think this is actually going to be just a touch short, but let's just again have a look at this line. It's going to move over one to the right. Yeah, well, I need a lot of luck for this to go. I think it'll go somewhere close. For it to go in, I think would be asking a lot. Come back, it'll roll back. Yeah, so it didn't move as much to the right as I thought it might, or perhaps it did and the wind affected it a bit more than I thought it would, something like that. But anyway, alright, so that's one potential opportunity, something to bear in mind again for future games, because there's 2 more rounds at the same course. You know, if you get a similar shot, which a lot of the time you do, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I do seem to get the same or similar wins quite a lot in the Grand Championship, which definitely helps. Right, I can fade this, or I can just power shot. The power shot, I think, will probably end up with the back of the green, and the pin is quite close to the back of the green as well, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I might just try and take it down to 99% or so. I'm pretty sure 100% in a headwind would work quite well, but there's obviously, what I don't want to be doing is leaving it short. That's about the best I could hope for, I think, getting it within 10 yards ish. The fade would have probably been a better shot, but more difficult. You've got to bounce it right on the upslope and it'll take a lot of pace off, and that would have given me an easier putt. But actually I'm not too disappointed with this. This is okay. Well, it looks okay. We'll see if I make it okay. Something like that. Still really struggling to hit these lines bang on, but that did the job. So the 7th will be quite interesting. I would suggest most of you watching will probably be aware what happens with the trees, because it looks as though on the 7th there's a whole load of trees and you think, well, I'm keeping well away from that, but in actual fact there's certain trees you can hit, and I'll show you what I mean. You'll probably know this again, but if you don't, it can be useful. So these obviously trees with the trunks, hit those, you're gone it. But all this stuff in between, this kind of weird stuff here, it doesn't actually get in the way. You can go straight through it. This is a real tree, that's a real tree, that's a real tree, so you want to avoid those. But all of this stuff, just forget. So really just need to avoid these trees. You've got a gap there, you've got a gap there. So realistically I can probably, I won't quite have the length I don't think, but if I kind of aim round about there, I think the wind should just push it over a little bit and we'll kind of end up pretty much where the marker is, just a bit short of the green. I'm going to use a juice. Oh, I've used quite a few juices. I didn't even really mean to, but anyway, just because any slight miscontact could result in us hitting a tree, which could ruin the round. And there's still a chance that we can get a chip in. This might be an opportunity here. That's quite a decent pin for a chip in chance, I think. Probably, let's have a look. Yeah, it's flat as a hat actually. I'm going to use another juice. I need to get some more. I've got plenty in the bank. Right, so it's going to kick over to the right a touch. It's going to come back in a touch. And this is where this is what makes the difference. Shots like this between an okay round and an average round, and yeah, that'll do nicely. Thank you. So I think what's that? Be 11 under. So we've got an eagle chance for 13. So 14 under. I suspect there'll be someone's got a 15, but I think 14 will be kind of above average if I can keep this up, and there'll be a chip in chance here and on the 9th. Right, so I think I'm just going to hit this pretty much as hard as I can. I'm not going to juice it. It's almost like a reflex action, just selecting that juice sometimes, and it's most of the time a waste on the Grand Championship. There's no need for it, but definitely it gives you that confidence going after the chips that you know it's going to go pretty much where you want it to, as long as you hit that line, which isn't usually too difficult. Right, so well, it shouldn't be difficult to hit the perfect zone line. Right, what am I doing here? I'm gonna this is gonna come left to right after it pitches, not hugely, and it's gonna kick over 4 dots ish to the right. Excuse me. So I'm gonna, again, you'll notice I'm playing a high shot. Backspin would work, but I just think getting that run, if it is gonna get a chance to go in the hole, then it's definitely worth, you know, giving it that opportunity. There is a bit of a slope away, which is quite easy to slope off the back, so I'm just going to be cautious that I don't hit it too hard. So my calculation here is 33, which is about 8 yards back, so that would put me on 187. The elevation's a little bit low, so say 190. So in actual fact I'm going to drop down a little bit more than that. This is possibly a bit too cautious, but let's see what happens. I'd much rather not go after the hole and get the eagle because I've got that chip in on the previous hole, but then I do want to give myself a chance to try and put it in if I can. So it's a bit of a balancing act. I think with it being lower stats, the high shot does go a bit higher and therefore it'll stop a bit quicker, but we have got that little bit of elevation. I've overhit that a bit actually. I hope that doesn't go. Oh, it has as well. That's absolutely abysmal. I'd hit it where I wanted to, it still would have gone off the back. A bit of a miscalculation. So now we're up against it. After all that work getting the chip in, I'm just going to give it away again now, unless I can put this in. Let's see. I think what you'll notice I'm doing here actually, if you, so it's saying R2, what I'm doing is moving it to the right and see, okay, R3, and if I move it to the left a touch, R1. So that's kind of telling me it's actually maybe 1.7, 1.8 rather than a full 2. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if I'd moved to the right and it immediately changed to R3, I'd know it was kind of almost at 3. Equally, if I'd gone to the left and it took a while to get to R1, I'd know it was quite a high 2. I don't know again if that's making any sense. I'll try and explain it a bit better when what time I've got left here. Oh God, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing. Never mind that, Swanson. Right, let's have a look. I don't want to kind of time out. I would really like to put this in. I think I might have aimed it a little bit too far right. Let's have a look. Oh, I did. Yeah, too far left actually. Which gives me 15 seconds to put it in. So an average round, almost above average. It's annoying because you get 3 chances and chipping in 1 round, you really need to make the most of it. And I definitely haven't done that there. Anyone still watching? I've got 17 watching. Awesome chip, said David. I'm assuming that was the previous one, not that one. Right, so it will be in some ways annoying if I was managed to chip in here, because that would have been a monster round, but I think more likely what I'm going to end up is 13 under, which I think is going to be pretty much bang average for this course. So I'm just going to have to hope that I can get another chip in one of the other 2 rounds. You never know. There's obviously a chance we can put this in, but I think it's unlikely. I'm not actually going to chip this. I'm choosing chip so I can see the contours of the green. You can already see the red to yellow to green, so you know it's sloping right to left, sorry, left to right, and slightly away from us. But it's just nice sometimes to see the extent of that. So I'm going to go about there, I think, and I'm going to hit it about there. I'm not going to play any drinks, I think, because I'm not even sure I've lined it up right. I'll just throw it into the lap of the gods, and if I don't get the correct contact, that might actually help me. Who knows? I'm going to try and get it bang on the line if I can. I think that might be a touch short, but I'm going to hit it anyway. Let's see. It's not going to be short, and oh, not bad, but not good enough. So 13, okay to start out with, but disappointing because I could have quite easily made that a 14. We'll have a look at the ranking now. I think we'll probably see, I'm guessing, haven't looked at it yet, there'll probably be 5 to 10 people already with 14 under, and I bet there's one with 15 under. Let's have a look. Never mind that. So we're up to 19 watching. Hello everyone. Too many beers, Mr. Swanson. I think you're right, Julian. Or not enough. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, we went out for a couple of beers, but I was driving, and then as soon as we got back, I got some beer on the way home. It's the weekend. I never drink during the week, but I always tend to have a go at it at the weekend. But the sun was shining today. I was out in the garden doing some weeding and mowing the lawn. Considering it was under 2 foot of snow last week, that's quite impressive. Right, rank. There we go. So we've got some 14s, a load of 14s, as expected. Can't see any 15s yet. I bet there's one, like I say, by this time tomorrow. And you can see how, you know, I mean, if I'd potentially not messed up on the 8th and chipped in on the 9th there, that's 15 there and then. But, you know, up there, I guess 27 is the target still. I know there's a few 28s, there's 5 guys with 28, so to catch up I'd need to put a 15 under in. Unlikely this week, but you never know. So what, we've got 9 minutes. Let's see if we can squeeze in the final of the 1v1. What have I got here? I'm not going to use these for that. Save it for special occasions. And yeah, 90 GP. I will collect. I will collect. Wish you could have average rounds like me. Well, a lot of it's stats, to be honest. Well, I guess it isn't. This is a distance, say, experience. There's only really, you know, with a little bit of practice with that round, there was only really the 6th, I guess, was maybe a tricky shot, and the 7th was a bit of luck involved with the chip in, and I played terribly on the 8th, so I'm sure you could quite easily manage that. 1, 2, 3. Nuzerona boy, I can't read that. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, I'll call you. When it goes quiet, I'm having a tug on my little vaping machine. I'll do it without, so you can hear what you would have had. I'd much rather mute it. Definitely all. Yes, David, I will collect the 90k. I've not got much use for GP. Well, I'm saving up GP really. My plan is when these trajectories get fixed, I'll have a good go at getting some transcendences and some combinations and whatnot. But for the time being, there's absolutely no point, no advantage doing that. So whilst I'll certainly take the GP, I won't be doing anything with it until such a time as it's worth doing. Oh, it's an inter-guild battle. I'll just have to give him a smile. This is our Suffolk lad, Brit Driver. I've come up with him against him before in the 1v1 actually. This is a guy with monster stats, so should be pretty much the same. I think in this, I don't think he'll be capped to be pretty much the same as me, but he's a good player. So if I get beat, I get beat. Let's just see what happens. What I'm going to do here, I'm definitely not going to sky shot this. Not with those stats. It's balancing act, this one, as you'll know, between you don't want to hit it too hard because it's going to go off the back. You don't want to hit it too soft, you can hit that tree. So I'm going to run out of time and just hit it there. Oh god, I've got one more swing at it, I think. I definitely don't want to hit that. It's going to go off the back, this, I think. Much better going off the back than leaving it short, as Suffolk lad has done, gone off the back as well. It's definitely the percentage shot, that one. With a bit of practice, would definitely be putting this one on the green. But the thing is, with the 1v1, you can't really. I guess you probably could practice, but sorry, let me think about this one. I'll talk in a minute. Hitting that a little bit harder. It just looked a little. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, you know what I've done? Oh, that was a massive. I left it to rough shot. I definitely wanted to use a chip there, and I totally messed that up. I should have really been quite close with that chip. Just noticed with 5 seconds to go that I was using a rough shot rather than a chip shot. Again, beer taking its toll. Right, what was I saying? Something to do with the stats, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, you could practice with your own stats, but I think, if I remember rightly, in each round your stats are capped to a certain level, and there's not a huge cap on the final, but there'd be no point me practicing, you know, if I know a driver at a certain percentage makes it, and then my stats are capped by a certain percent, you know, then I'm just guessing again, so not a great deal of point in practicing, so we'll just see what happens. This is just all about making this little bit of fairway. If I make it and he doesn't, I should win the hole. If we both make it, then it moves on to who makes the best approach. Let's see if I've got the line right. Not too bad. I think that's okay. Yeah, anything a little bit further than that, even with a higher shot, will end up flirting with that tree in front of us. I think I'm just okay there. It's a nasty pin though. Very easy to overshoot this one, but in a right left it does take a bit of distance off it. I'm going to guess round about there. I'm going to come in a little bit actually here on the side of caution. Might actually be short this one, let's see. Get up, get up. That's okay. So middle of the green. We'll see what Suffolk Lad's done. He looks pretty good. Very similar, I think. Yeah, slightly outside my line. There we go. No problems there, Suffolk Lad. I'll give him the heart. Yeah, he's been in. I kind of acquired him for our guild. Actually, this is going back years now. I played against him, I think, or spotted him. Asked him if he wanted to join the Brit Drivers, and he did. And he's been with us ever since. And he's been a great asset. He's great for. He's our highest statted player quite comfortably. So guild battle games, I think he tends to just play Kyoto. He plays it from the 3rd tee now, but I suspect probably all of us could do that with the trajectory problem. But he tends to put 18 under at Kyoto. I suppose it's a bit of a easy course. Tension, says Kev. Beep beep Brit Drivers. Yep, it's the Brit Drivers on the go. Right. Massive slices of luck required if I'm going to make the green here. I suspect I won't. What I'd much rather do, if you've seen Safari before, is go off the back rather than leave it short. So that's kind of my plan. I don't want to really hit it anywhere below the line I've got there. I think that will get me on the green. Sorry, get me on or past the green. Most likely the past part. Let's just see. Get up, get up, get up. Oh, yeah. Again, kind of 3-4 times out of 10 I might hold the green there, but always going to err on the side of hitting it a little bit too hard rather than a little bit too soft, because too soft puts you in a horrible position, again, as you'll know if you've played this. Right, if you watch my chipping video, that's pretty much this shot I played. I wish I could remember what I did. I would suggest something like that. I played a flop rather than a chip just to get the elevation. Not bad. Put it close, but I suspect Suffolk Lad will do something very similar. Yeah, he's in a similar position. He might put his in. Let's see. Yeah, very similar shot. So we're neck and neck in this Inter Brit Drivers Spectacular in the final. I'm sure the 17 of you watching are on the edge of your seats. Well done, Suffolk Lad. Bit of an enigma, Suffolk Lad, actually. We've got a Facebook page and there's 60 of us on there, and we're all, you know, just your normal Facebook accounts. But Suffolk Lad has never joined. I don't know if he's on Facebook elsewhere, but he's never joined under his real name. So there's always the question of who is Suffolk Lad. We suspect he might be like someone really famous or something, and he can't join because obviously it would blow his cover. So he could be anyone. Who knows? Right. Alright, this is just all about how far left can I go before I hit that big bloody rock. I'm guessing somewhere like that. I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm going to finish way off to the right. Can I do it a little bit more? It's one of these. Is there any real benefit? I don't think there is. I think whatever I do, it's going to hit the rock anyway. Yeah, could have gone a bit further, but as you'll see here, it wouldn't really have made a difference. That was probably actually, though, an example of the trajectory problem, because that really should have gone a good 20-30 yards longer than that. Not particularly bothered, because I wouldn't have ended up on the green anyway. But an interesting one to note. So yes, Kev, never thought of the low shot. Definitely on that hole, a low shot is the best shot. I think I've tried various options. It just gives you you'll often find you're playing Safari, you've got really heavy winds, so obviously it gives you the ability to counteract that a little bit. It's not going to move so much with a low shot, and Yeah, well, I mean, that's it really. It's a windproof shot, the low shot, in some ways. Similar to underpowered, you know, that's why I really like playing, you know, an underpowered driver, for example. It'll get affected much less by the wind, certainly front and back anyway, than a standard full, you know, say like an 80% one wood as opposed to a 4 wood. It'll be moving half as much with the wind. But it depends on the shot. So look at this, absolutely neck and neck. 2 games to go, 2 holes to go, I should say. 1, 2, 3 says more 1 in 10 on the low shot. It's probably 1 in 10 for me. I was probably exaggerating. Let's see what we can do here. Right, I normally play a draw here. I am very tempted because I'm pretty sure this will go over the top of here, and I think with this trajectory thing, I think this 3 wood will actually pitch front edge, which will end up middle-ish. Guesswork. I'm going to guess that this is going to work. I'm just going to hit this full blast. Could be a really bad decision. Let's see. I think it's high enough. Yeah, it's plenty high enough. And yeah, it was almost a good idea. Almost a good idea. Suffolk Lad's done something similar though, so we're going to end up probably neck and neck after 5. I might even go to the playoff this, which doesn't happen very often. If you haven't played the playoff in this, it's oh, hang on, it's a rough shot. I'm going to play a chip. Yeah, with the playoff, it's a bit of a fastest fingers first. Is that the best way of putting it? You have to. Have I hit that too hard? Sorry, I'm just going to back off a little bit with that. Yeah, I think that was a good idea, backing off there. Yeah, if it comes down to the playoff, I think it's first on the green gets an extra half a point, which obviously if you're playing a game like me and Suffolk Lad are here at the minute, where you're absolutely bang on neck and neck, that half a point extra will win you the game. So if it does go that far, and what will that be, the 7th hole, which is the one with the big tree in front of you, no time to think about it. That could get interesting. What tee are we actually here? I think we're the 5th tee. I'm not actually sure what we do on that hole. I'll have to think about that if it comes to it, but it may not come to that. Alright, so the 6-yard headwind. I think you can make it through these trees, but I'm not sure about risking it. No, I think it would probably not be very wise to do so. I've got a feeling a 2-wood power shot will actually make it through, even though it doesn't look as though you can. You definitely can from the 6th tee, but I haven't got that much time to think about this, so I'm going to forget about that for now. I'm just going to hit this a little bit harder than that. But I think with that 6-yard headwind, even this shot might not be the best idea, because what I'd ordinarily do, hit it about here and then go for the sky shot over the trees. But with a 6-yard headwind, which is what I've got, I suspect that's probably a very bad idea. I'd want to hit it about there. Let's just see. Ah, that's destined for the water, isn't it? I could play a fade, which might be a better idea. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that should be safe. Suffolk Lad, is he on the green? If he isn't, then he deserves it. Get up. Nah, don't get up. Get down. Oh. I think he's just on the fringe. That's unlucky if he is. Yeah. Right, are we actually in the sand here? Yeah, we are. I'm going to play a chip just to see the... Oh, it's I was aiming on the other side of the green there. Right, I need to pay attention. Right, bunker shot. It looks like it's going to go quite a way over that way. Right. I've completely lost it here. I've got no idea what I'm doing. I think I want to hit it towards the hole though. That's definitely a good start. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh no, that wasn't a good idea. So Suffolk lad, for all the talk of getting going to a playoff, nah, not unless I put this in. What time is it? 37. So presuming I lose this one, following the theme for the evening, we'll go back to another round of the Grand Championship. I think I should probably call it a day after that, because I'm not playing very well at all. Oh, I've got another shot. But there's another hole. There's another hole, and it's an interesting one. It's that I say the 7th par 4 with a tree in front of me. You never know. Oh, you give me a clap. I don't think that deserved a clap, Suffolk lad. Yeah, he calls himself Jacob now. Danielle decided. I was going back to what I was saying before. He's a mystery man. We don't know what his real name is. He's got an account on the Facebook group. Oh, is that it? Was that the 6th? I thought we were on the right. Okay, what a way to lose. Yeah, he calls himself Jacob Suffolk lad Golfstar. He's got a special Facebook account he's created especially for our Facebook group. But well played, Jacob. Can't argue with that. Although I definitely should have done better on the last hole there. Our Facebook page, Peter, it's a private group. It's the Brit Drivers Golfstar group. But yeah, it's like our guild page basically. So it's not open to the general public, unfortunately, unless you move to the UK and join the Brit Drivers. Unless you are in the UK already, and then just join the Brit Drivers. Right, what is it now? 39. Let's have another go at the Grand Championship. I think I should probably call it a day after that, judging by how I'm doing so far. I need to do some of these streams early in the morning. Honestly, I'm much better. Where's these victory wish balls? There we go. Alright, okay. I wonder if Suffolk lad is watching that stream. Maybe he was, I don't know. Say hello if you are. But then he'd have to put his name on. We'll never know who he is. He's probably, who would he be? He could be anyone. Right. What have we got? 40. Right, I need to start this off. Grand Championship. I'll collect, Peter. There we go. I've got my 90,000. You are in the UK, right? Well, Peter, you need to get in touch with our guild leader, Elle, or Ellie. She's always looking for good players. And if you watch my videos, you obviously got to be a good player. Right. I've got a pin. I'm going to play something similar to last time, which was fade. I'm going to drop it off a little bit more than I did last time. I'm not going to play a juice. I'll probably go in the bunker first shot, just to ruin this round, just to round off the evening really, how I've been playing. Let's see. That's going to be okay. Touch short perhaps, but it's dead easy to, if you play a straight shot or a sky shot, again seems to be the option, as David was saying. Probably should practice that, but it's very difficult to practice when your player's got 4,500 stats and you're playing it with kind of 2,000 stats, which is what we've got. So practice doesn't really come into it, unfortunately. So there's a lot of guesswork, especially things like backspin, high shots. I think that the eighth actually, if I played exactly that same shot, like a high shot from that sort of range with my normal stats, it would have landed so much shorter and had much more time to slow down on the green. That's my excuse anyway. So as I saw last time, I managed to chip in on the 7th after driving through the trees. So that's definitely the target, is 14 under. Quite a dubious target, again, based on my play so far this evening. But we'll give it a go. What's that? 74. It's going to be short. I think I played a high shot here last time. I think I was a bit long. So let's see if I can learn from my mistakes. If I can actually remember my mistakes, which I'm struggling to do. I'm going to play it around about here, I think. I'm going to use a drink. I would really love a hole in one. Likelihood is not huge. Line not bad. Sorry, length not bad. Line not great. I thought that would probably kick over the left a little bit when it landed, but it didn't. So what will probably happen here is I'll get 3 13 unders, but you never know. Still got 16 watching. I think this is up on last week by this time. I think we'd dropped off to kind of 10, 11, 12 by this time last week. Although I started off early. I think I was probably done by this time. And I'm starting to feel it now. Again, I've been up since probably 5:45 this morning. And I've had a few beers in me, as you know, this evening. It's really starting to catch up with me now, I think. But I'm keeping my eyes open for the rest of this round. Just a little bit more focus. And Philip says, love the vids. Thank you, Philip. Much appreciated. It's really extremely satisfying. I love doing the streams and seeing people watching and getting the comments, etc. It's quite gratifying knowing people are actually watching. Alright. Really difficult to judge this, so let's think. Again, with the difference in stats, if I was playing that with my normal stats, that would be definitely way off the back. But because it goes so much more lofted, it stops a lot quicker. But equally, because it goes so much more lofted, the wind's going to affect it more. So there's so many different variables. I'm thinking something like that, and a little bit of a lottery. I'm certain it's not going to land on the fairway, and it's definitely going to roll a bit. I'd rather be past the pin than in front of it, but being past the pin flirts with going off the edge. So these are all the things that are churning around in my mind at the moment. Let's see, stop. That's perfect, actually. Happy with that. Yeah, hole 6 would not. I'm sure you can do it with the sky shot with usual stats, but with these guys' stats, not a hope. Not a hope. Not from the third tee with 311 yard driving distance. I think you'd be lucky to make the to kind of clear the first bunker on the 6th. We'll hopefully demonstrate that in a minute. But I get what you're saying, David. Ordinarily you'd sky it, but yeah, with these stats, no chance of that. Right. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for watching. I'm glad that people, like I say, I'm not sure my plan is for people to learn from me. I'm not sure what my plan is, to be honest. Have I got a plan? I don't know. But I quite like doing the videos. I'm still enjoying it. Right, this is going to finish well short, I think. But I've run out of the ability to think, I think. Let's see what that's doing. Oh, it's certainly not short. Right, David. If I'm gonna select the sky shot on the 6th, but based on the fact I can only just make it with a power shot, maybe the sky shot behaves differently with these stats is the thing, and I've never had a chance to test it. But I'm not sure I'm willing to risk it based on the fact that one mistake means there's absolutely no chance of me hitting this 14 under. Yeah, I agree with Jeff with this one. but I could be wrong. You know, I'm not an expert with these stats. I just can't see. I can't see how we could possibly make the green with a sky shot. You're talking 40, 50 yards short, I'm sure. Right, I got a different pin here than I did last time, so anything I learned from that is out the window anyway. I think if I remember rightly, last time I got the line not too far off, but the sorry, you got the length not too far off. The line. Oh, David said it was on the other match. Right, I'm glad about that because he had us thinking there. Right, so with this one, I tend to overdo this and it'll catch the green and roll back with these stats. Let's see. I think we're probably going to aim it around about here. We're going to go around about here-ish. Again, you'll notice I'm not using the perfect drink. Any chance it's got of going in is not going to be by a judgment, it's going to be by luck. So, yeah. So again, these are all speculative. The real chance, as we've seen in the last round, is going to be the 7th and also the 9th, I think, are the two holes where potentially we could catch up a bit on these leaders with 14 under. But that relies on me doing well on the 6th as well, which is a tricky one. I think I played just a power shot last time. A fade is sometimes a good one to play. Let's see where the pin is. I think where the pin is there, again, I'm going to go long rather than short. So we've got very similar wind last time, actually. So I'm just going to do exactly what I did last time, which was essentially, I think I might have had a 2-yard tailwind last time rather than a 3, but I hit it 99%. I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'll try to hit it 99%, I should say. Right, I've actually hit that 98. I'm probably going to regret that, aren't I? Because if it does go a little short, it hits this little lip and it flies much further. That's alright, actually. Stop. Yeah, that's probably the best I could have hoped for. Sometimes hitting it longer on this hole, bizarrely, actually causes it to go less far. Oh, I've got myself a horrible putt here, so fingers crossed I can get the line up somewhere right. There's not a lot of downhill on this. It's not too bad. But at this time of night, trying to hit the line, or trying to line it up right, followed by hitting the line, this could all go badly wrong again. Let's see what we can do. I'm guessing a lot of guesswork involved. Got the line quite well, so if I've lined it up, technically speaking, that should go in. Have I lined it up right? I have, would you believe it? I wasn't expecting that to go in at all, to be honest. So just notice the opposition, CJH182 from Korea, South Korea, I think that is. Yeah, it is. Doing well. This is going to be an interesting one. Where's the pin? Similar to how it was last time. Everything's similar to how it was last time here, actually. I think I had a 2-yard tail, so I'll not go quite as far as I did, but I am going to choose this exactly as I did last time, just to make sure I don't get an awful contact and belt it off the trunk of a tree. Yeah, that's much shorter. That's a lot harder than the chip I managed to make last time, but it's just it's actually very flat, but because I'm chipping out the rough, getting the distance right is going to be trickier. I'm going to guess with a long one I tend to just put about 10 yards on top of it. If this goes in, I will be very, very surprised. Oh, I even caught the lip, caught the fringe there. Even without that, I would have been struggling. So that just leaves me with, well, I guess a potential chip in on the 8th. But as we saw last time, I didn't even make the green. So we'll try and improve on that. And then something similar on the 9th. So still 2 opportunities to improve on the 13 under, which we had first round. Did I not choose a power shot, really? Oh god. That would explain a lot. Beers, yes indeed. Beers. I'll do an early one, I promise. I'll do an early one after, sorry, before beers, pre-beer. I thought it went a bit short, that one. I'm glad somebody's watching to tell us what I'm doing wrong. I'll learn from my mistakes. Thank you, 1, 2, 3. Right, so this last time, this is where I went wrong. I played a high shot and it went well long and went off the back. So what I'm definitely not going to do is do that again. I'm going to go around about here. So let's think about this mathematically. I'm coming back 8. I'm coming back a couple just for that elevation. It's going to roll on. Right, it can't possibly go off the back with that shot. I'd much rather play an underpowered 8 iron a little bit because I think it'll run a little bit more. So yeah, should I use a juice? I wouldn't normally take 10 yards off for the downward lie. That's probably what I did wrong last time. Do you think that's what I'm doing wrong, Jeff? I would normally only take a couple off for that. Maybe that's a stats thing again, because definitely with higher stats it wouldn't make that much difference, but it definitely does. Well, I definitely did something badly wrong last time. Let's see. Not so wrong this time, so definitely not 10 yards wrong, but 3 yards too hard. Right. Yeah, backspin again, David. A backspin shot with 4,000 stats just flies so totally different to a backspin shot with 2,000 stats. It's night and day, and you know it's almost impossible to judge. I sometimes just guess at one, and it's definitely a sensible shot to play, and it's definitely gonna get you closer to the pin. Probably less likely to chip in because it hasn't got that roll. It's going to stop dead, therefore not much chance of it rolling in. But yeah, I would, and I used to play backspin all the time. But then all of a sudden, the backspin shot that used to fly nice and high in the air and then stop dead on the green started flying really, really low, and often skimming off the back of the green. And then they introduced balls with 120% backspin, 140% backspin, and that backspin affects the flight of the ball in the air, puts a load of variables into the equation. So yeah, it's definitely a sensible shot to play. Right, now what do I do? I had a very similar shot here last time. What it's very easy to do here is just to catch this stuff, which removes any chance of you getting it in the hole. So I'm going to guess about there. I'm going to play a flop. There's a very decent chance this will come up short and catch that stuff. I can't actually remember last time if I was long or short, so I'm just going to hit it. Oh, a bit long. Wasn't far off. So another 13 under, so 2 13 unders in a row. What I'll try and do, because I'm blatantly struggling this evening, is I've definitely got some stuff to do tomorrow. I think we've got a we're doing like a bathroom. We're always doing stuff in my house. There's like an ensuite shower room we're making, so we've already got the pipes in. We're putting boards up and you know, all sorts of DIY rubbish. Not of my choosing, you might guess by my tone. But if I get up early, I might give this a go early on tomorrow morning. What I'll probably do rather than stream it is maybe record it, and if I do any good I might show it later on. But yeah, So I'm not sure why I won that. I didn't use much juice. Maybe CH didn't either. But tied for 13 under. Again, pretty much par for the course by the look of that. So what are we at? 21 watching. This is not my night, Dan. No. Well, maybe it is in other ways. Who knows? But that's the end of Golfstar for me tonight. If I do a stream next week, I might start a little bit earlier. I might do one tomorrow night, you know, depending on what happens, and try and start that a bit earlier before it all starts getting a bit too much for me. But yeah, thank you everybody. It's again 22 now, 22 people watching. Thank you everyone for watching again, and the stream will be up, so if you're watching it back, apologies I didn't do very well. I'll try and do better next time. I'll try and cut out the beer and yeah, make it a bit earlier. My eyes are really closing. Thanks everyone, see you next time.